new research shows that home ownership is becoming more attainable for many Americans. According to the National Association of Realtors, people of color made significant gains in 2022, and home ownership among Hispanic Americans hit a record high. So joining us now to break down the report is Jessica Lautz. She is the Deputy Chief Economist and Vice President of Research at the National Association of Realtors. Jessica, thanks for joining us. So to start things off, just give us sort of a basic snapshot of what the data shows and whether or not just the groups, but also were there some states where people of color were doing better than others?
Sure. So when we look at a nationwide whole, what we are seeing is that the homeownership rate did gain for each group. But I have to say that when we look at this over the course of the last decade, the gap widened between white and Black Americans. So even though it's up, we still see the headwinds. In many states, housing affordability is really the biggest plague in holding people back. And so if we look at, for instance, DC, not a state, but we do collect data there. And what we are seeing is that it is very difficult when we look at housing affordability for really all groups to be able to enter into homeownership, as well as places in the Midwest, which are traditionally very affordable. We're still seeing headwinds there as well.
So the data also shows Black homeownership, as you are indicating, lagging behind other racial groups despite some gains in 2022. What is playing a role in all that?
So when we look at the gains, what we do see is that we know that there is a large share of Americans who are aging really into where they would be buying their first home. And so when we look at minority groups, what we actually see is that more than half of each minority group are actually first-time home buyers. So they're essentially fresh new buyers into the housing market, embracing home ownership. But when we look at the headwinds, they're very persistent. So student loan debt, which you all just talked about, we know is one of the biggest hurdles, as well as high rent.
So then how do we improve these numbers? We've talked a lot here about affordable housing and how there simply isn't enough housing in the country, but there certainly isn't enough affordable housing. Is that one of the factors?
Certainly. So we need more housing inventory. Absolutely. And especially at affordable price points. But I think what's really important to note too is that when we have generational transfers of wealth from current homeowners into perhaps junior purchasing their first home, that is really a strong method to help propel homeownership for future generations. But unfortunately for Black families, we don't have that. We really do see that traditionally Black families, when they go to purchase their first home, they're relying on their personal savings, they're relying on their 401k, they're less likely to rely on that generational transfer of wealth that could really help them into homeownership.
So how does the United States overcome these racial disparities in homeownership? I mean, what systemic changes would have to be made?
I don't think there's a silver bullet. There's not one solution. And I think we really do need to be attacking this in really a multi-pronged approach. If we think about education of homeownership, the financial benefits of homeownership, which we see are tremendous, looking at the stability of homeownership, certainly we can educate Americans on that. But I think we also really need to be looking at low down payment programs, perhaps FHA loans, VA loans that really can help people enter into homeownership perhaps sooner than what they may think is that 20% down payment that they need. Perhaps they can get in quicker.
I think you're right to sort of bring up systemic issues because there has been sort of a rotating cycle of systemic issues that has sort of, as home ownership starts to rise with African Americans, it gets pushed back just a little bit. And it's a lot easier to buy a home if you got, a little bit of a down payment from your grandmother's house when she passed away and was sold, and you get to distribute that wealth. But if you don't have that, you're really sort of behind the eight ball. You don't get that running start that a lot of other people have.
And the point that you made at the top of the show, Anne Marie, is that, for people who are of middle class means, which is what most of us are in the United States, the best way to build even just a small amount of wealth that you can pass down to the next generation is through home ownership.
Exactly.
I mean, as my colleague Tony DeCouple, we were talking about this earlier, which is that, people don't realize, and Jessica, you can talk to this, that when you take out the mortgage on the house, even though you have to take out this big loan to pay off the house, every time you pay the mortgage, you are chipping away at that loan and paying yourself, essentially, because eventually you're going to own that home. It's
Completely.
going to be yours.
Properties go up in value, so you're making money. I mean, it's so complicated, Jessica, as you know. I think a lot of it also has to do with sort of education as well.
Yep.
Financial education, understanding that if you're paying a certain amount in rent, there's a good possibility that you might actually be able to afford a mortgage.
That's exactly
but
right.
if you don't come from a family where home ownership is part of a sort of a generational tradition, you might not think you can take that plunge. Yeah.
Exactly. Jessica, always great to have you. Please come back.
Thank you. Thank you so much.